This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to ngscsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on ngscsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
Do that, I forgot to mute the track, but that's okay, because welcome to episode 246 of the A Foreign Affair podcast. I am Edward Green, not joined as always by my calling crime, Wes Bradshaw. He will be joining us later on in the pod from Parts Unknown to deliver a little bit of Anfield Corner for you. And I imagine it's going to be pretty interesting Anfield Corner this week. Oh boy. Because it was a very interesting Premier League weekend we just had. I will be running through that. What I imagine is actually maybe one of the most exciting Premier League weekends we've had in a long time. Wow. So we'll get to that. We'll, of course, also get to the League Cup. What we know from that so far. Because I didn't look at the dates right. It's fine. And then we'll also do the a little bit of League Cup talk, which I mentioned, and then the FA Cup as well, with the news and notes, and then the watch for. As always, we are presented by NGSC Sports at ngscsports.com. We never stop. As well as Alicia's Pills and Things. Super Bowl's coming up. Get your Patriots and Rams gear. And the rematch, that big Super Bowl from all those years ago when it was the thing with the guy and the kick, and you know what it was. So, there you go. Check out Alicia's Pills and Things. She will get you set up for the big game in style. I think we can see the Super Bowl. I don't think anybody's going to care. I don't think we don't have to be like the advertisers and be like, get your TV for the big game that we can't contractually say Super Bowl. Because whatever. All right. It was not a whatever week, though, in the Prem. Oh, no. It was far from it, actually. So let's get started off. We're going to go in chronological order with the match that kicked it off. And as Wes and I texted after this match, it was like, well, if this match is what we're in for this weekend, it's going to be a pretty damn good weekend. And it's a pretty damn good weekend. Wolves versus Leicester set the tone early on Saturday morning. A pair of goals from Wolves got them out to an early 2-0 lead just 12 minutes into the match. But a pair of goals just after the halftime restart got Leicester back into it, including an unfortunate own goal for Wolves from Connor Cody. Diego Jota pulled Wolves back in front in the 64th minute. Before Wes Morgan thought he had snatched a point from the jaws of defeat for Leicester in the 87th minute with a goal that made it 3-3. But at the end, Jota comes back with a goal in the 93rd minute to secure the win for Wolves. Just a dramatic match at the Molineux that has really exemplified Wolves' season so far. Been very exciting. Scored a lot of goals this season. Relatively speaking, I guess, as I actually look, their numbers are not that great. But separation now. They actually leap Leicester in the table because of this match and find themselves now 1 point ahead of them in the table. But Wolves, again, going to be a solid top half of the table club this year, it looks like, especially thanks to wins like that. It did not stop, though. We had some more craziness happen. Liverpool 4, Palace 3. Liverpool, they gave the early goal to Andros Townsend. Great goal from him. Then Mo Salah and Roberto Firmino answered with goals in the second half before Palace, got right back into it thanks to James Tompkins in the 65th minute. Salah added a second, though, 10 minutes later. That looked like it was going to give Liverpool the lead for good. Credit to Palace. They just kept on fighting. Gave up a breakaway, though, a goal, though, to Sadio Mane in the 93rd, and you're like, all right, 4-2, that's it. Max Meyer did pull a goal back in the 95th minute, and all of a sudden it was, oh boy. James Milner also picked up a double yellow in that one. That actually sent Liverpool down to 10 men just for the final few minutes of that match. So he will actually be suspended for the next match because of that. And so Liverpool's crisis of defense, as far as able-bodied goes, continues to deepen just a little bit. But they do get the win. And again, West will have more of that in Anfield Corner later on. Manchester United 2, Brighton and Hove 1. A run-of-the-mill match for United got a little dicey late after Pascal Gross, I think it's Gross, scored for Brighton and Hove in the 72nd minute to give Brighton a little bit of hope, but they could not pull off the full comeback and beat United as they had in the reverse fixture earlier this year. United now, again, have not lost since making the switch and manager. Newcastle 3, Cardiff 0. Newcastle getting a brace from Fabian Shahar, as well as a late goal from Iosi Perez to seal that one off. Southampton 2, Everton 1. Everton suffering a defeat to bottom table Southampton as the Saints are trying to just climb out of that relegation area. Still a little bit in it, but they do have a little bit of separation now, thanks to goals from James Ward-Prowse and an own goal from Lucas Digne. Gylfi Sigurdsson did get one back for Everton in the 91st minute, but it wasn't enough. Watford and Burnley, they didn't get the memo that the games were supposed to be exciting this weekend. They played to a 0-0 draw. That happened. So bad, they didn't even have an attendance listed. Bournemouth stops their skid with a 2-0 victory over West Ham. Goals from Callum Wilson as well as Josh King in the second half give the Cherries 3 points there. And then Arsenal get past Chelsea 2-0 thanks to goals from Alexander Lacazette and Laurent Koscielny in the first half. Chelsea just... As I texted Wes, I was like, I still don't believe in Arsenal. And he's like, yeah, but Chelsea just right now are worse. And I've been reading a lot about, Chelsea and Maurizio Sarri, especially with what he said after the match, calling out his team, just not having the ability to adapt or give, 100% every match, which is something we've been saying for a while. But it's just another one of those things for Chelsea where I actually still think Chelsea's a decent amount better than Arsenal. I think the problem is now Sarri's system has kind of been solved. Sorry for the alliteration. And I think that's going to give Chelsea problems going forward, especially against the better teams. And while Arsenal still has problems, they are better. And I believe Unai Emery is somebody who can take advantage of knowing and figuring out kind of how Sarri ball, air quotes, is supposed to work. And Jorginho just isn't going to really cut it yet for Chelsea against a lot of teams like Arsenal. Like Tottenham, hopefully, fingers crossed, for tomorrow. It's a big win for Arsenal. It does stop what had been a not great month with a big victory against a club, and it does keep them in the top 4 race for sure. But I think it just says more about Chelsea and their underlying problems than about Arsenal getting better. Still good win for Arsenal, but just I think it says more about Chelsea. City, not dramatic. They beat Huddersfield 3-0. Goals from Danilo, Sterling, Sané. They win. Whoop-de-doo. And then, final match of the weekend, Fulham versus Tottenham. 3 goals for Tottenham. Unfortunately, one of them throw a net. Fernando Llorente, who was deputizing for Harry Kane, did score. Unfortunately, he scored into the wrong net. He gave Fulham an early 1-0 lead in the 17th minute through his own goal. Tottenham did respond, though, in the second half. Dele Alli getting a ball, latching onto one with his head from Christian Eriksen in the 51st minute to pull Tottenham level. Ali would then later go down with an injury, so yay, he'll be out till March. But Tottenham, thanks to notorious GNK, Georges Nkudu, gets the winning assist to Harry Winks, who, God, he doesn't score a lot, but when he does, it's big-time goals. And that was the case here against Fulham. In the 93rd minute, just 15 seconds from time, scores to give Tottenham the win and make a little more separation there in the race for top four. And, Tottenham's going to need it with the injuries. However, they are getting news on the Tottenham front. They are getting Lucas Moura back. Musa Sissoko, as well as Victor Wanyama, are all back in training. And so that is something positive. So that was the week that was, the week that will be in the Premier League. Nothing this weekend because of FA Cup. So, hey, instead of just waiting till next weekend, let's play on Tuesday and Wednesday, guys, and then we'll just get right back to Saturday. Oh, okay. Tuesday, January 29th, 2:45, you have the option of Arsenal, Cardiff, Fulham, Brighton, Wolves, West Ham, or Huddersfield, Everton. 3 o'clock, you have Manchester United, Burnley, and Newcastle versus City. On Wednesday, January 30th, you will have Southampton versus Palace at 2:45, along with Bournemouth, Chelsea. And then at 3 p.m., you have Liverpool, Leicester, and Tottenham versus Watford. Then that next weekend, just real quick look ahead. Obviously, Wes and I will be talking before then. Tottenham plays in the last match on Wednesday and then turns around and plays the first match on Saturday. So that's cool. On Sunday at 11:30 next weekend, Man City will be playing Arsenal at the Etihad. That is a pretty big match. Oops, no, that's what? That's not at all what I wanted. And then on that Monday after, you'll have West Ham versus Liverpool. That's a pretty big match. So that's the look at the schedule coming up. Table-wise, Liverpool still 4 points up on City. City is 5 clear of Tottenham, who are in third. But Tottenham are now 4 points up on Chelsea as in the battle for fourth. Arsenal just 3 points back of Chelsea for fourth place. And United right there with Arsenal on points, just a few behind on goal differential. But it is starting to get very tight for that fourth place spot. There's a big gap, then it's the mid-table, and then we hit the bottom of your heart, the relegation zone. Palace, Southampton, and Burnley just 3 points safe. Newcastle United 2 points safe in 17th place. Cardiff right now are in 18th place. Fulham just sinking down the table. They're in 19th place, 7 points from safety. Huddersfield, 10 points from safety, and last. So Huddersfield looks like they're going to drop. Fulham looking more and more like they're going to drop. And then it's who's going to be the third team. So we'll take a look now at the League Cup. Again, Tottenham and Chelsea play their second leg on Thursday. We record this on a Wednesday. Cool. However, Burton Albion did play City today. Only lost 1-0. A goal from Keane and Sergio Aguero in the 26th minute. But again, Man City beat Burton Albion 9-0 in the first leg. So, yeah. City advanced to the League Cup final 10-0 on aggregate against Burton Albion. And it looks like they will be the home team, potentially, quotes, at Wembley on February 24th. Again, they'll be waiting the winner of Chelsea versus Tottenham. Tottenham will be going to that match with a 1-0 lead. Remember, no away goals, shenanigans, or anything like that. Just go straight to penalties if they're tied after 90. On to the FA Cup, which takes place this weekend. Fourth round proper. Premier League battles including Arsenal versus United, and that's actually on Friday. So check that out on Friday afternoon. On Saturday, you get Man City versus Burnley, Newcastle versus Watford, And on Sunday, you get Palace versus Tottenham. So those are your Prem-only matches for you there. Lowest team still in the competition is Barnet, who are in the National League, the 5th tier of English football. They will be hosting Brentford out of the championship. So we'll see if Barnet can advance on to the 5th round proper. So that is the match talk. Now for news and notes. Tottenham news, Moussa Dembele, the Moose has been let loose, as he will be heading to Guangzhou RNF in China, away from Tottenham. Tottenham will be shipping him out, and I've seen him go through. We will miss you, Moussa Dembele. You were good, and oh my God, what a beast. When healthy, just one of the most dynamic, strong midfielders in the Premier League. A league that really suited him well. So, wow, damn good player. Anyway, so that's Musa heading out. End of season for Hector Bellerin in Arsenal. He has ruptured his cruciate ligament and will be done for the rest of the season. So, hey, maybe he can move to Barcelona now. JK, my dude. JK. So he will be out for a while, though. He injured it in the Chelsea game. So not great there. More happy trails. Tim Howard has announced that this season in MLS for him will be his last. He'll be playing for the Colorado Rapids this season in MLS, and will be heading out after this season. Tim Howard, the master of defense, will be retiring from league play. News for Huddersfield Town. Jan Siewert is coming over from Borussia Dortmund to be their new head coach. Siewert was the head coach of their Division 2 team at Dortmund, the reserve team. And so will be coming over to replace David Wagner and see if he can pull a miracle, or at the very least guide them right back up after they go down to the championship this season. So best of luck to you, Jan Siewert. Couple of signings for Barcelona. Kevin Prince Boateng is going to Barcelona, boys. Okay. More importantly, Frankie de Jong is going to Barcelona. He's going for what's reported to be a $93 million in US dollars signing a transfer fee. So he will not be joining them this season. He will be joining them in summer of 2019. But that is a big signing. PSG and Barcelona both combating for his signature, and it looks like he has picked Barcelona. Final signing of the week is coming over from Italy to Chelsea. Gonzalo Higuain is reuniting with his former manager at Maurizio Sarri, where he played for him at Napoli in the 2015-16 season. As Wes mentioned last week, he was the top scorer that year in Serie A with 36 goals. Currently, he's been playing the first half of the season with AC Milan, where he was on loan from Juventus. So Higuain will be coming over to Chelsea on loan. Again, this is on loan. So, and Chelsea know a thing or two about loans. So he'll be heading over from there. So we'll see. We'll see if this solves Chelsea's problems. Who knows? Very sad news coming out of Cardiff. Emiliano Sala was going to be coming over to Cardiff City. The Argentine striker was going to be Cardiff's record signing transfer. And unfortunately, when he was coming over from Nantes, his plane lost contact with air traffic controllers, and it looks like it has gone around the Channel Islands. There have been search parties sent out, but unfortunately they have found nothing. And people are saying now that, or officials who are in charge of this saying that it doesn't seem likely that they're could have been a surviving member, either him or the pilot. And it looks like the searches will be called off. So it's very, very sad, as the Argentine striker was coming over from France to England. Just right there in the channel between the two countries is where his plane looks to have gone down. And unfortunately, just rescue efforts have not been able to get anything. So unfortunately, it's a very tragic time. And we at the Foreign Affair podcast, which send all our thoughts and prayers over to the family, friends, and everyone affected by this tragedy for Emiliano Sala. So in our final story, there's literally no way to transition from a story like that to our last news and notes story, other than the fact that we hate Cristiano Ronaldo here. It's fun. It's fun to hate on him. And now the Messi versus Ronaldo debate, now they've both been fined for tax fraud. So, Ronaldo doesn't have that leg up on him anymore. He has been given a 23-month suspended prison sentence and 19 million euro fine, which is about $21 million, after pleading guilty to tax fraud on Tuesday in Spanish court. Hey, luckily enough, because it was a 23-month sentence, if it's your first time offense in Spain and it's less than 2 years, you can get that sentence commuted. So, hey, it's nice that it was 23 months, eh? The appearance lasted just 15 minutes, as there had already been a settlement in place, which is interesting. Because Ronaldo had previously denied any wrongdoing and said he had felt victimized by the Spanish press, which was part of the reason he left Real Madrid. So, hey, just saying, there's other rumblings about Ronaldo out there that he's been denying. Just saying. I'm just saying it's time to head to the Watch 4, where I talk about what I've been watching the week that was, the week that will be. What are we watching? Boys? Brooklyn Nine-Nine still back, still amazing. The Good Place. We are about to hit the season finale this week, boys. This Thursday night, season finale of season 3 of The Good Place. Again, if you haven't checked it out, I strongly recommend that you check that show out. It is fantastic. Really, really love The Good Place. What else are we watching in the week that was? Don't think much else. I do want to say, I believe Genlock, I'll talk more about that next week. I believe Genlock comes out late next week. The animated series featuring Dakota Fanning and David Tennant and Maisie Williams. So that'll be interesting. And Michael B. Jordan, of course, Michael B. Jordan. How could I forget him? But that is what I've been watching the week that was, the week that will be. So with that, let's turn over to Wes Bradshaw as we hit Anfield Corner. Take it away, Wes.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's edition of Anfield Corner. I'm Wes Bradshaw, joining you on an extremely rainy morning here in good old Eastern North Carolina. I've actually waited until getting home and getting in the driveway before doing this because it was a somewhat hazardous trip home this morning. But you know what? Not too bad. Not too bad overall. And why is it not too bad? Because Liverpool still sit atop the Premier League. We still have our 4-point lead. A thriller over Crystal Palace this past weekend, 4-3. The Mo Salah brace, goals from Firmino and Mane. And while it was not what we're somewhat accustomed to seeing this season from Liverpool, where they control the proceedings and pretty much just strangle their opponents out and score their goal or two, it was an exciting match, and it was one that definitely kept your attention. Good win for Liverpool, and luckily for them, did the smart thing, got themselves out of the FA Cup, out of the League Cup, so 11 days off before Liverpool play again. It'll actually be next Monday. Yeah, we play Leicester City. I might be wrong on that date, but anyway, it's coming up this weekend. We'll play Leicester City, so, it'll be Wednesday. God, I finally got it right, folks. I promise. I'm trying. On Wednesday we'll play Leicester, and for Liverpool should be welcoming some players back. The injury scared of Fabinho, he should be good to go. Gini Wijnaldum should be back. Uh, Matip should be at full potential. There's a chance that Gomez could make the bench. So maybe some of those pieces starting to come back together for Liverpool, and just in the nick of time too, as the Champions League is a matter of weeks away at this point. And Liverpool, of course, with a big quarterfinal matchup coming up with Bayern Munich, round of 16, jumping ahead of myself, matchup with Bayern Munich, one of the glamour ties of the round. So, definitely something we'll be keeping an eye on there, and we'll talk more about as the Champions League approaches. What to cover this week? There's not a lot for me to say, but there are a lot of things going on in the Premier League. Gonzalo Higuain has made his awaited move to Chelsea. For Chelsea, that could be the firepower that fires them into the top four. They need help right now. They need help. Biggest thing, yes, it does give them a proper striker, but also it moves Eden Hazard back to his preferred position, which can kind of open him up to do a lot more things. So that's a big one. Hasn't been a ton of movement around the Premier League. There's a lot of the rumors flying around. A lot of this could happen, but more on the international scene. Frenkie de Jong, the highly rated Ajax midfielder, has chosen Barcelona. Had a lot of interest from both Man City and PSG. PSG is a very interesting case study at the moment, as there are rumors flying around that Mourinho is going to go to PSG this summer if Thomas Tuchel doesn't win the Champions League. Holy crap. On top of that, Adrian Rabiot, one of their top young players, he is, I believe, signed a pre-contract to go to Barcelona. Or maybe has not yet, but it's getting so very close. He's been frozen out of the squad. PSG are trying to strengthen here in the January window. They're finding it extremely difficult to make that happen. It's just a lot going on in Paris right now, and for me, Thomas Tuchel's doing as good a job as anyone could ask for, and it's an unrealistic expectation, I think, for PSG at this point. But that said, there's also the specter that Neymar could be leaving this summer again. So FC Hollywood, there is a lot going on there, and I'm just glad they're not in the squad. Anyway, though, folks, it's been a very, very extremely busy week for me, both personally and work-wise. So overall, I just don't have a lot for you guys. But next week, myself and Edward, of course, will be back for the full show. And when we get there, we're going to bring you something good next week, folks. Don't know what yet. Hey, maybe Spurs will be in a final. Who knows? But we'll have a lot for you next week, and we will make up for it, and I'll make up for it. But for the time being, that has been this week's Anfield Corner. Back to you, my good friend, Edward Green.
Thanks so much for that, Wes. We'll be back next week to talk about everything that happens this weekend in the FA Cup. Yay, FA Cup magic. It can happen. As well as midweek Premier League football. Yay. What a great English football schedule this is. Hooray. Alright, that is going to do it here for this week's edition of the Foreign Affair Podcast. Once again, big thanks to NGSC Sports, as well as Alicia's Pillows and Things. You can find them on social media. You can also find us there on Twitter. We are at AFA Pod. That is our collective Twitter account. We are also at Wes Bradshaw 21 and at Edward Green. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube via our parent show, The All New Sports Show. You can also email us at that address, allnewsportshow@gmail.com. Big thanks to all our podcast providers, including Podbean.com, Stitcher, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, the TuneIn Radio app, Google Play Music, and the iTunes Music Store. So once again, we'll be back next week for a big old Premier League team roundup extravaganza time period. It'll be great. I promise, guys. But for my call in crime, Wes Bradshaw, I am Edward Green. Thank you so much for joining us here on episode 246 of the Foreign Affair Podcast. And until next time, stay safe and enjoy the football.
This show is sponsored by Alicia's Pillows and Things. Check out the Facebook page, Alicia's Pillows and Things, where you will find home decor you will not be able to resist at prices anybody can afford. Check out the pillows and stools of your favorite sports teams. Maybe you want a set of your kid's favorite cartoon or movie character. You can also get full body and neck pillows as well. Log on to NGSCsports.com and go to the Alicia's Pillows and Things tab on the homepage to complete your order. It makes a great gift for Christmas at an affordable price. NGSC Sports. We never stop.
You're listening to NGSC Sports Radio. Hear us live on NGSCsports.com, where you can get awesome analysis for all things sport. Or check out our podcasts on iHeartRadio, Spreaker, iTunes, TuneIn, and much more. For our latest videos, head to NGSC Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter at NGSC Sports and like us on Facebook. NGSC Sports. We never stop. We never stop. We never stop.